Okay, at least it started. Okay, great. So, good evening, everyone, and NetAcad. Today is a very, very important topic in IT called DHCP. So, who can tell me what do you know about DHCP? Job interview. There is a position. We say 25,000 trend, and you say you apply. You say you know network. We ask you what is DHCP. What are you going to say? Any volunteer?
Yes, Mr. Master can try to explain a little bit.
Okay. I cannot hear you. Huh? Can you speak louder? Or maybe is it me? Uh, 1 second. It's
Yeah,
this.
yes, Mr. Max.
Yes.
Yes,
So explain now what is DHCP. Explain to your.
of DHCP, or for the clients to obtain the lead. So it's like when the client requests the IP address to the server,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then the server
Mm-hmm.
we offer, and then after offer, the client will request
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledge it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, for both, what I understand, the four of them, there's a first discover and the offer, request, and so it's how the client will receive the IP from DHC server.
Okay. Okay. No,
So
that's very, very, very great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So guys, so everything is here. So my advice for you, if you know that today, or maybe next week or this week we're going to do chapter 7 and 8, just read it, just to have an idea, so that when I explain it's much easier. So thank you very much, Visual. You'll get a reward. What reward? No one knows about it. What type of reward? No one knows. When? No one knows. But anyway, you'll receive a reward. That's your good news. Okay, so let's start chapter 7, DHCP. So as Bijou explained, if you let me open Packet Tracer here. This one was for last sessions. So let's say you have a PC, you have a PC, uh, and you have your router, you have your switch, and you have your router, and you want to go to internet. What is that internet guy? Come here, and you have internet here. Let's say internet. And you connect your PC to your switch to your router, then your router will allow you to go to the internet. Right. So for that we know. So now the thing is, anytime the PC connect, when you power on your PC need a IP address to communicate. Because remember we said any device who want to communicate in the network need two addresses. Remember, you need, first thing first, a physical address. Physical physical address or MAC address. And also number two, it needs a logical address or a IP address. You see. So any device want to communicate in the network needs these two addresses. Physical address is always there, never change. But now, how the PC will get the IP address, we have two ways. Either yourself manually, this is static, yourself you add according to your design, 192.168.10.2. Always, when you have an IP, it always comes with a subnet mask. The subnet mask will show this IP belongs to which network. So a IP never comes alone. It always comes with a subnet mask. So that one we all know. Oh, I'm checking if all good. So in case you don't see anything, you cannot hear me, please call me directly via WhatsApp, so that I'll be away. And let me check again here. Okay, so we continue. Any device need an IP. You can yourself manually add. We call it static IP with other default gateway and all this stuff. Or your device can get the IP automatically or dynamically via a server. So a server is a device. The role is to send IP addresses to devices. You see. So if I click DHCP, is going to request, hey, I need a IP. You see. So these are the two ways to. So I'm going to write in your what after studying. I'm putting in your after studying chapter 7 and 8. You should be able to answer. So everything we do, we ask for job interview. Myself, last year I wanted a new position somewhere. They did test me. First thing first, we ask you general question in interview, then you go for practical. Practical is something simple, but if you know mm, what is DHCP, you should know what is DHCP. DHCP, what are the two ways a PC could get an IP. So we have two ways, statically or manually. You see, yourself, you enter all these details according to a question paper, or dynamically via a DHCP. So a DHCP could be, okay, this one I'm going to remove it, you know. So a DHCP can be a device like a router or a switch. You see, can put it here. You see, it's about, yeah. So it can be a device like that. We call it DHCP server. DHCP server. So it's a device. A DHCP server is a device that will automatically assign IP addresses to devices. Also, I can also say what are the two ways to configure DHCP. So the two ways to configure DHCP. The first one is you can configure the router as a DHCP server. We can configure one. We can. So all these things I'm teaching you, I'm also bringing my experience. I've been working in IT for more than 20 years. I'm also bringing you my experience. So we can configure a, a router as a DHCP server. You see, so you can configure your router as a DHCP server. So if they ask you what are the two ways you can get a DHCP server in a company, you can configure the router as a DHCP server, or two, we can get or set up a device like a stand-alone DHCP server. So DHCP server is to assign IP addresses to the host who need IP addresses. We have two ways to get them. You can get a dedicated server, a standalone. It's a device that will assign. So if a PC need an IP, it's going to ask to everyone, "Hi guys, I need an IP." And your request will reach the DHCP server. Say, "Hey, thank you for contacting me. If you need an IP, this is one free for you." Then you keep it. So we're going to do a demo. So the DHCP server, now question number 4, I'm going to post in the WhatsApp group. I'm typing. What are 4 elements? 4 elements. A DHCP server can send to a device. Listen. So where is it? To a device. So the DHCP server will send IP to the devices, but it's not only IP. The DHCP server can send all these information: the IP, the subnet mask, the default gateway, and a DNS server if possible. We know that DNS is important to go to internet. The DNS is also a server like this guy. But the role of a DNS server is
Sorry,
what?
Mr.
To
Max, can you
change.
come again?
Where? When?
Yeah,
Or I don't know.
just for receiver IP, subnet mask, and
Yes.
what?
Okay. Okay, I said that a DHCP server will send IP to the devices, but not only the IP, it can also send other information like it can send your IP to you automatically. You see, if you say DHCP, all these IP, you see IP, it will send an IP to you, a subnet mask, a default gateway, and the DNS server IP address. So the DHCP will send all this information to you if you configure them. For example, if I go to my PC, my laptop, CMD, remember ipconfig/all we did is to view information about your network interface card. I click connect CMD, I type IP config. Job interview, we can ask you, what command are you going to type to view properties from your network interface card, like your IP address and other info? It's IP config space /all. We did that. You press enter. And I have all my adapters that can connect to internet. I have many. So in because me, I did install them. But for now, I'm working from home and I'm using my Wi-Fi. So you come here, Wi-Fi adapter to go to internet. You can see I have my physical address or MAC address that will never change. And I can see my IPv4 or logical address, like my cell phone number. I can change my number the way I want. You see. So I have IP, I have a subnet mask. I have, this is my DHCP server IP. This is my DNS server IP. This is my default gateway. So when the DHCP server send me a IP, it's valid for maybe 2 days, 3 days, a week. It depends on how you, the network engineer, you set up. You can say, okay, I'll send you an IP. That IP is valid. Let's check mine. I got my IP today at 4 p.m. and it will end tomorrow 4 p.m. So my DHCP has been configured for 1 day. So every day I need to get a new IP. You see. So it's up to you, the network engineer you set up. It's valid for how many times? From which day, what time, to which day, what time. You configure it. We're going to do a quick demo now. So you know, um, I'm going to add you another question, question number 5. What's what is uh, what lease means in DHCP? So all these questions I ask in WhatsApp group that I'll post later, DHCP, I give you the answer already. I say question number 5, what lease means? Lease is the validity for how long the IP you got from the DHCP is valid. We call it the lease. Also, if I'm not happy with that IP that the DHCP send me, I can cancel it and get a new one. I'm going to ask you question number 6. What command will you, all this thing is by my experience in IT, so take it seriously. Will you issue to release the IP you got from the DHCP server? And what command to get a new one? So if I'm not quite happy with my IP and you want to change it, you type IP config release, then renew. Let me check if it's somewhere in we are in which chapter now? Chapter 7. Sorry. Let me check if I can find it so that you can see. So in EtherCAD here, it's a lot of information. I'll try to summarize in 2 minutes, not difficult at all. Okay, I'm going to go to Google. If I tell IP config release, I'm going to check if it's the correct one. Okay, yeah, it's the correct one. So the command, if you read the command ipconfig space slash release, releases the current IP configuration, effectively disconnecting the computer from the network. So if you cancel it, your PC will be out of the network. To regain an IP, then you need to use the command ipconfig renew. So job interview, you can ask the questions. What's the difference between ipconfig release and ipconfig renew? Uh, So this is the answer. And I did ask in your WhatsApp. I'm going to post when we are done. You can also write it down, document, go to YouTube, you see, make your own summary. The same thing me I do, you see. Anything I do, I make a nice summary so that it's easier for me to come back quickly and study. For example, VLAN, instead of going back to NetAcad and read the whole book there, I make it what I should understand in VLAN. The definition, the 5 types, you see, you make yourself a nice summary, copy paste, you see, always think I did copy paste. The 5 types of VLANs, you see. So do it anytime we have sessions. And when you do your quiz and your chapter exams, if you see something very important, write it down. Make your own notes. It's very important. So guys, as a network engineer, you should know ipconfig release, ipconfig renew. Very important. So you see here, for example, ipconfig space slash release, you're going to lose connectivity. Then you retap again, ipconfig renew, and you'll get a brand new IP address and subnet mask and all this information. But especially, you'll get a brand new IP address. So you see, you can do some research. You can go to YouTube and yeah. Also, guys, check something. I'm going to remove this one. Now, this is my PC. To go to internet, I need an IP. I open my PC. I go to IP configuration and for packet tracer. I can get the IP statically, manually. I can add or via the DHCP. What will happen if I click on DHCP? If I click on DHCP, the PC will check. You see here, will request IP, and you see DHCP failed. A paper is being used. So it means what? If the PC doesn't find the DHCP server, the PC will get a IP, but that IP is a error IP. We call it a paper. So I'm looking for the DHCP server to give me an IP. There is no DHCP server in my network, or it's not configured, or for any reason I cannot find it to get an IP. I will get that IP 169, starting with 169. If you see 169 dot something, it's a wrong IP. It means no DHCP server found. Extremely important. Job interview, they ask just to check. They can say, okay, you got a IP 169 dot something dot something dot something. What does it mean? Because it starts with 169, it means it's a wrong IP, or it means the PC didn't find the DHCP server in the network. Either it's not configured or it's down or what. So to notify you to say that there is no DHCP server, the PC will get a IP starting with 169. We call it APIPA. What is APIPA? Always IT. We do some research. APIPA. APIPA. So yourself, you can read it. I did explain my my side. Now you can read. You can read from here until down. So you see, it starts with 169 automatically. So this is, you see, for APIPA, the range, it starts with 169.254. Any IP starting with 169 or 254, automatically it's APIPA. It means the PC didn't find the DHCP server. And you see all these things. So it's very important, guys, to know that. So if I go to my PC, my packet tracer, I open this guy, I can see subnet mask is 255.255.0.0 because it's a class B. And with default gateway, I couldn't find anything, all zeros. I couldn't find DNS server, all zeros. See? It's what is written here. You see, subnet mask because it's class B, you get 255.255.0, but default gateway, you couldn't find it, so all zeros. So if you're a network engineer and you see such IP, it means the DHCP server is down. You need to go fix the DHCP or check the cabling, everything is well connected and all this stuff. Okay, so let us do, before we do a demo, let me quickly, chapter, 2 minutes quickly, because I think this one we did in CCNA1, and also in IT Essentials. DHCP, you know what DHCP is. Mm. So if you're a PC and you don't have any IP, you want IP, you request, hi, I need an IP. And this guy will reply and what. So this one, very important to check also. The first steps, I'm going even to ask questions. What are the first steps to obtain a lease? So this one's question number 8. What are the first steps to? So very important. Also, if you want to renew, so this one you can just read. Okay. Okay. There is something called relay. Question number 9. What is DHCP relay, DHCP relay, DHCP, especially relay. So relay means what? So as we said, you can configure the router as a DHCP server, or you can get a dedicated appliance as a DHCP server that will send IPs to anyone who needs IP. So if the PC says, hi guys, I need an IP, and the request reaches the router will say, sorry, I'm not configured as DHCP server. If you want to get the if you want to reach the DHCP server, this is the IP of the DHCP server. So the router will redirect everyone who contacts him for a DHCP to, sorry, I'm not with DHCP. If you want an IP, use that IP to contact the DHCP server. It's what we call the relay. It's going to relay your request to the real DHCP server. That's all. See? Then when you do your configuration on the router, on the oh, oh, yes, yes. Which one? Which side?
The first is the one that you just mentioned now about
The relay.
where the host request for an IP, and so I missed that one.
Okay, okay, no problem. I'm doing that now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I received a request from Brother Aaron. Okay, before I reach, I start with him to do the config. So on the router, at the default gateway, you tap, you see here, oh sorry, the default gateway will receive a request. So we need to do the config here to say, if you receive a request for IP, send it to, so we go to the interface and we tap IP helper address, and we type the DHCP server address. See? So this one is very important. When we do our labs, we'll try to mention that. So if you tap show IP interface G000, you'll see helper address. So the helper address is the DHCP server address. I'm going to ask you again. Question number 10. What is the meaning? Brother Aaron, I'll come to you. The meaning of helper address. So a helper address is the DHCP address that the router will configure at its interface to redirect all the requests to a DHCP server. So IP helper address and VCB DHCP server. So let me repeat again for Brother Aaron. Also, you can switch off from the router. You can cancel the DHCP configs. You tap no service DHCP. And if you want to reactivate your configuration for your router to become a server, you tap service DHCP. So you can read this one, then I'll explain again for Aaron. Okay, so let me explain again. So when you have your network, any IP needs, any device need a IP. So we say that you can configure the router as a DCP server. We're going to do a demo now. Or we can have a dedicated device as a DP server so that we can assign IP to PCs. So if you didn't configure the router as a DCP server, and you do have a dedicated appliance for DCP server, anytime the router will receive requests to get an IP, the router will say, hey, I'm not configured as a DCP server. If you want an IP, this is the IP address of a good guy of a DCP server. You see. So to do that, you go on G000 with your gateway, uh, G000, and you type IP helper address and the DHCP server address. So this configuration will assist all devices who need IP to get redirected to a DCP server. It's going to relay so I think that's the last thing that we should know from here. I'm going to do a demo on this one, something quick, and yeah. So if you work for Telecom or MTN and you need to configure client Wi-Fi routers, the manager will give you all the info, and you log on the Wi-Fi router and you set up all this information. That's all. I think in your net academy you got a demo. So in the setup side, do you want your device to get a static IP or dynamic? And you say DCP, and you enter the info your manager will give you. So now we know a lot of theory. Let's do a quick demo. So if you see all these things and you don't know, Google it, go to YouTube, document it yourself, build your career and build your own knowledge. So we're going to do a demo now. This is how we configure. So 1 minute, check the config, and I'll explain to you. Okay, so what does it mean? All these things. It's very simple. These are the steps. Define with address pool, gateway, DNS, and all these things. So let me make it very simple for you. So you go, I want to configure the router as a DHCP server, DHCP version 4. So chapter 7 is DHCP version 4. Just now, yeah. So chapter 7 DHCP version 4, version 6 is chapter 8. So the same thing here is the same thing. We like explaining a lot of stuff. The student get lost. So if you understand this one, it's fine. This one, just watch the videos, introduction, and with summary, it's fine. Because sometimes we go deeper, and we don't use, and the student gets confused. So if you understood what we did today, it's fine. Because if I go to DSCP, if I go here, it'll be same thing. You can sign manually or dynamically. And we have other stuff that we don't use. And how to configure it the same thing, and then you see. So this configuration, what does it mean? I want to configure my router as a DHCP server. First thing first, I give a name to my DHCP pool. Pool is what? Um, let me mm, DHCP. DHCP configuration. I have a network. Network. That is, for example, 192.168.10.0/24. From that network, there is no subnet. From that network, I want to assign IP to the devices. Devices means it can be a printer, a server, a PC. To the devices. One. So here I can say okay. I want to assign IP to my devices. One, I need to keep some IPs to later assign manually to devices that need a IP for forever. For example, forever, it means it's there for life. It doesn't change. I need to keep them. So these guys, it's what we call exclude. So first thing first, this is my network, 192.168.10.10 subnet mask. And in that network, I need to keep some IPs I don't want the server to assign to people. So I say IP DHCP exclude address. This one. I can also IP DHCP exclude from 10.1 to 10.9. So 10.1, 10.2, 10.3 until 10.9. I won't ask the DHCP to assign to anyone. I remove it from the group. So you exclude them because I will pick one to assign to a printer. The printer in your network should have one IP for life. It must not keep on changing. A server, so we have some appliances that need a static IP. So I remove this IP that I will myself assign to them. I give a name to my pool or to my network, the IP DCP pool, LAN pool 1. Then I specify my network. This is my network. And from there, I will say, okay, you will assign IP from that network, but be careful, don't use these ones. So when you send a IP from this range, assign also with the default gateway, default router or default gateway, assign also or send a IP send with default gateway, send with DNS, send this. So yourself as the network engineer, you can configure what you want with DHCP to send to PCs. And that's all. So you give a name to your DHCP configuration. You specify your network and the subnet mask. And you tell the DHCP, please, these address range, don't use them to assign to anyone. I'll keep them myself to assign to other stuff. So you pick an IP here, you send to the PC, you send the default gateway, you send this, and then. So let us do a demo and we are done for today. Same thing for chapter 8 and DHCP. So this is our router. If I click here, for example here, I remove. I'm going to remove a DHCP server. Then I see I'm going to configure R1 as DHCP server. So I'm going to configure the router as a DHCP server. So I open my router, my interface is going to ask questions. I say, no, don't help me. I know what I want to do. But enable. My interface is what? G000. So I need to power on, no shutdown. Or I can even assign an IP, conft interface G000, IP address, for example, 192.168.100.1, default subnet mask 255.0, no shut. So the default gateway is there. And this IP of G000 must never change. It should be static. So in your remove now that I have it, I'm going to configure my DHCP. I'm going to give a name, IP DHCP pool, let's say testing, testing, the name of what I want to configure. But before that, exit, before that, exit, yeah. Before that, you must exclude what you want. IP DHCP, DHCP exclude. So I say, okay, don't use any IP between this range, 192.168.100.1 and 192.168.100.10, for example. So any IP starting with 101, 110, don't assign to anyone. So I exclude first, you see. Because this one, for example, I will assign it to, you see, the interface. This interface IP is static, it doesn't change. It must not change. So I exclude, it's fine. Now I can start my configuration, IP DHCP pool. The name is testing. Now here I specify what is my network. This is my network. According to the question, 100.0 is the network, 255.0. It means the DHCP will give any IP starting from here and send to the devices, but it must not send .1 to .10 to anyone. So it will start from .11. You see. So here, network, I forgot. You put here network. This is my network. Now you must also assign the default gateway. Default router. So default gateway is here is called default router 192.168.100.1. Why? You see, I have a switch, and anyone that is connected here, G000 is the default gateway. All of them, if you want to go out, we need to use that door, a gateway to go out of this network to go to another network. So send this as a default gateway to all the devices. Also send a DNS if you have, if you want to configure 168.100. Let's say, okay, also this guy, the DNS server is a static IP. It must not change. So you can pick .1 for the default gateway, .2 that is also static for the DNS server. It should never change. And then we are done. Finish. So you tell which IP it must not use. You give a name. You specify your pool and other information you want the server to send to people. You save, do, copy, run, start. You see. Now let's go check if it works. You can end, show run to view my configuration I made. And I can see that, you see, IP DCP exclude this range. My DCP name, my configuration name, you see. This is my network. You see. So let's go and check. We are still together. Okay. Now I open the PC. You see, static, no. I want the PC to get an IP from the DCP server. I click on DCP, requesting IP. You see successful. And you can see that it starts with 11. Subnet mask is there and all this information, you see. So automatically it gets that. I'm going to add another PC, a laptop, put it here. I connect it to the network. It doesn't have any IP, you see, it's blank. You can yourself, the network engineer, add the way you want, or because we have a DHCP server, it's going to request. You see, requesting, API I didn't find. Just because this guy is new in the network, let's try again. You wait maybe 1 minute, you try again. And here, again, API. So you can come and check. Normally, everything is good. Let's try again. Static, DHCP. Now it's successful. You see? Because sometimes when it's new, it needs to get in the network. So we need to refresh or to wait maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. You see now, 100.12, and automatically it gets all this information. This is what we call DHCP. Without this information, PC2 cannot, or this laptop cannot go to internet. And with DHCP, like mine here, this is my DHCP server, and it will assign IP to my laptop, to my cell phone, because I'm going to use my cell phone to go to internet, my tablet, anything I want. The server will assign IP to them. You see here, 192.8.109. You see. Okay, guys, that's all for today. DACP, the same thing we did for version 4, chapter 7, it will almost the same for chapter 8. So don't spend too much for chapter 8. When we do some labs, we'll come back and do some revision for chapter 8. So officially we are done. So if I click here, if you have any questions, I'll go directly to the summary. What did I learn? What is DCP? How to configure it? What we did now, and yeah, IP config slash all and see renew, release. You see, IP helper. So it's a very short one. Any questions?
Yeah, Miss Max,
Yes.
about the homework, you didn't correct it, so we can know if
Yes, yes. I'm going to check during the weekend, and on Monday I'll let you know. I only received for 4 students. I received from Mr. Coco and his wife. I received from you. I received Gina and Gautier. So other students,
Oh,
please send me
no,
your.
me, Mama Rachel and the Mama Mireille.
You did in one, huh? Okay, no problem. I'm going to check that.
Yes, we
Yes.
did in group, yeah.
Okay, no problem at all. I'll check during the weekend, and Monday, yeah, I'll give you the correct answer, and I'll mark it and let you know what is wrong, what is right, and congratulate you if all good. So remember this Saturday, this guy from Bethel House, we say it's fully booked for the year or what, but we only gave us only one slot this Saturday from 12:30 to 3:30. So it's 3 hours. We're going to do VLANs, inter-VLAN routing, and also DHCP. I'm going to you will configure you will configure the router as a DHCP server, and you'll see you'll connect your laptops and you'll get IPs. So if you can come, it's only 2 minutes from Mowbray Hall. 2 minutes. You can even walk 5 minutes. So if you come from town, before you go to Mowbray Hall, you'll see a yellow building. You'll see a yellow building on your right. There's a house. Yeah, you'll see a yellow building just before you turn to go to Mowbray Hall. You pass it and you turn and to go to the hall. So before you continue, you'll see a yellow. You can even make a U-turn. You can go to a mall first. You come back and you see the yellow, and you turn left for parking. Yeah. So
So,
this Saturday,
Mr. Max,
yes.
you can send the address in the group.
You can Google, ladies. You can Google it. You're IT engineers now. Yeah, you can Google it. Bethel House, not far. You see, you can Google it. If I go to all and yeah, this is the address here, 67 or 69 Main Road. It's the same place like the hall, but only 1 minute, 2 minute walk only. Uh, 1 second. If I go to direction, I'll show you here. What is it, this guy? Yeah, it's somewhere here. So when you come from town, you use main road. What is it now? Oh no, I lost it. Okay. Okay, so if from my house or from my flat, it's 9-minute drive. But where is it? Yeah, it's here. So if you come from town, the hole is, this is better house here, but the hole is somewhere here. Yeah. So you can even turn to go to the hole, the mobile hole, and after maybe 20 seconds, you'll see a yellow building, and you turn left to park somewhere here. Mobile hole, I think it's somewhere here. Yeah, mobile hole is this one, I think. But yeah, it's a yellow building, and the police station, it's the same place. If you walk, it's only 1 minute to walk from the mall to. But anyway, I'll send you the link, the address. And opposite, you'll see CPUT res, CPUT res, and the bridge. You see that big bridge, the highway under there. Okay, anyway, I'll send it to you. Yeah, so please come so that we can do some practical labs. You'll see. So if we are 10, we divide again. So let's say 100 rand again for everyone for the 3 sessions, because we'll get one at this place, Better House, and Saturday, the 5th of July. So the 28th, Saturday 28th, we have a session. The 5th of July, we also have a session, and the 19th, we have a session, and I think that will be all for the year now, because CCNA3, yeah, we'll see. If you need sessions, we can also hire a place again. And yeah, please also bring 100 rents for 3 days, the same way we did for the, so we have 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 9 hours, where we do practicals. I help you, and it's very good, very important. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'll put the recording in the groups shortly. Yeah, so this is what we call DCP. Thank you, and anytime you have questions, you can post in the WhatsApp group, and we'll help you.